Okay, now the webinar is being recorded. Before I begin, let me introduce myself. I have a background in experimental neuroscience with doctoral studies and postdoctoral training. I started on protocols.io as head of outreach a bit over 4 months ago. So you can see the agenda on this slide. I will speak for about 30 minutes and we'll leave about 15 minutes at the end for questions, which you can type in the chat, and then I will respond to them. In this webinar, I will go over some of the more general points in terms of the motivations for creating protocols.io, what our mission is, and how our platform and tools can make your work easier and faster, both in the research lab and in the classroom, as well as to increase your reproducibility. Although I will share a lot of information today, we will not have opportunity to go over all the details of the different functions and tools. For that reason, I will share now some of the resources that you can browse for more information. First of all, we have these live streaming webinars. We run different webinars covering diverse topics. Some of them are tailored for new users, and some of them for more experienced users. So you can go to the web page protocols.io/webinar, and you will see the list of upcoming webinars here. But we haven't scheduled yet webinars for August, but this is where you can find them. We also have a collection of pre-recorded tutorials that you can find at protocols.io/tutorials. These tutorials are related to the functionality, tools, and uses of protocols.io. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you will find a link to request a one-to-one demo. So I'll go back to the presentation now. Now, let's talk about protocols.io itself, what it is, and why it is useful for researchers. Protocols.io is a virtual platform for the collaborative development, sharing, and publication of detailed, up-to-date, and reproducible experimental protocols before, during, and after publication of a research article. Protocols.io was created by researchers for researchers. We have collected a series of tweets that comment on the difficulties and frustrations of trying to replicate previously published experiments. As you can read on the slide, Daniel goes from reference to reference, trying to understand how the devices in a 2017 paper were fabricated. And when he finally reaches the original 2009 publication, it simply says, devices were fabricated with conventional methods. This is just an example that highlights a widespread problem. That is, very often, the information reported or included in the materials and methods section of published articles is insufficient to allow the reader to understand what was done and to reproduce the experiments. As part of the background on why we created protocols.io, we like to talk about the Cancer Biology Reproducibility Project, which was a $1.5 million initiative coordinated by the Center for Open Science and by Science Exchange, with the goal of trying to independently replicate almost 200 experiments from about 50 high-profile papers on cancer biology. What the Reproducibility Project researchers discovered very soon after the project began is that it is very difficult to replicate previously published work. Reasons why this is the case. But one of them is that the original researchers didn't document in their articles with enough detail what they did and how they did it. What you see on the screen is the Center for Open Science website that summarizes some of the results of the Cancer Biology Reproducibility Project. As you can see, of the 193 experiments that they tried to replicate from 53 articles, 0% of the protocols were completely described, which made it impossible to reproduce them without contacting the original authors. Furthermore, when researchers from the Reproducibility Project contacted the original authors, they also discovered that these did not always could tell how exactly their own experiments had been done. Therefore, the problem of lack of reproducibility goes beyond the lack of adequate reporting in published articles. It also highlights deficiencies in the way researchers keep record of their own experimental protocols for housekeeping. This is caused, among other reasons, because people move from labs, students graduate and leave, postdoctoral researchers become faculty elsewhere, and so on. Therefore, we thought that a system for the proper storage and exchange of detailed experimental protocols was needed. Protocols.io mission is simple. It is about making it easy for researchers to share the details of their experimental methods before, during, and after publication. Generally speaking, Protocols.io comes in two flavors. We have a free, open access version, which provides unlimited protocols as long as they are made public. You can publish all these protocols for free, getting a unique digital object identifier, or DOI, for each of them. With a DOI assigned, the published protocol becomes permanent and citable. We also have premium accounts that offer everything the free plan offers, plus an unlimited number of private protocols and workspaces, premium training, and, for the institutional accounts, a free protocol import service. You can find more details about our plans at protocols.io/plans/academia. And I will explain later on what workspaces are and how the protocol import service works. Some of you might already have an institutional premium account if your university is a partner of protocols.io. You can check this by going to protocols.io/institutions and scrolling down in the menu that I showed you on the slide. Now, going back to our mission and features. In addition to improving the documentation and reproducibility of experimental methods, protocols.io offers many other advantages directly or indirectly linked to this general aim. I will use the next slides to discuss how protocols.io can help you improve your everyday work, whether it's research or teaching. We launched protocols.io in 2014. We currently have over 100,000 users who have created over 12,000 public protocols and over 40,000 private protocols. The public protocols are all open access, which means that anyone for free can search for them, read them, use them, copy them, and create new versions. Last year, our protocols had over 1 million readers. Several organizations, including scientific journals, funding agencies, and educational and research institutions, support and promote the use of protocols.io. As I will describe below, protocols.io can support, facilitate, and increase the quality of your research and teaching because it allows you to manage and share research data and protocols. It allows you to simplify teamwork and improve collaborations. And it allows you to save time and keep your work organized. Protocols.io is also a tool to increase your impact as a researcher, to get granular credit for your technical and methodological discoveries and innovations, and to improve your performance as an educator. In the next slides, I will try to create a bridge between the different features and tools of protocols.io and the benefits that protocols.io offers for research and teaching, explaining how the architecture and functionality of the platform enables everything I listed before. Organize your work, collaborate, save time, increase your impact, get credit, and teach better and easier. But before I go into the details of the features and their functionality, I would like to briefly summarize why using protocols.io gives you precision and flexibility in your experimental research. The protocols created in protocols.io go far beyond a simple PDF. And I will now open a protocol on the website for you to look at it. So this is what you see on the screen is one of our protocols. As you can see, it is organized in a step-by-step fashion. Different sections of the protocol can be coded in different colors to ease readability. It can also be supplemented with figures, images, and movies. As I will show you with more detail in a few slides, you can also execute the protocol directly from your computer. The protocols are interactive because your collaborators can make comments on specific steps, and once they post the comment, you as an author will receive an email notification. Then you can come to the platform and respond to that comment or question. When you run, so the protocols can be easily copied or forked, or as I mentioned before, you can run the protocol directly from your computer or platform. If you run the protocol from the computer, you can tick off every step as you make progress. And the computer shows you the advance of the experiment. You can also tweak specific steps as you execute your experiment or add nodes. The platform also comes with an integrated timer, and it will give you a beep once the timer is over. And you can set the timer to different times for different steps. Once you finish your protocol, you can save the record of the experiment with a different file. Now I'm going to bookmark to the presentation. So protocols.io has three main sections: the workspaces, the file manager, and the editor. And I will explain in the next few slides how they relate to each other by using a simple cartoon. So the workspace is where everything happens. It is from this space that you create protocols, organize your work, and collaborate with others. The workspace has a folder that is organized by the file manager. In the file manager, you can use the editor to create protocols. During my explanation on what each of these sections or features does and how they relate to each other, I will be moving back and forth between them. If you go to our website, this is the landing page. You can create a free account if you have not done so already and log in. Once you log in, the system will ask you to create a workspace, which you can make public or private. At this stage, the system will ask you if you wish to invite anybody to join the workspace, but you don't have to do so. It is not compulsory. In the example that I'm showing you, I am inviting myself. Once you create the workspace, you can access its folder and the file manager, which is now empty because the workspace is new. By hitting the new button, you can create a new protocol. And this will take you to the last section, which is the editor. You can select among many different templates to begin creating your protocol. And what you see now on the screen is the editor. The file manager will eventually contain, display, and organize the protocols that you have created within the workspace using the editor. The file manager supports any file type. It helps you archiving, auditing, and exporting because it can connect to Dropbox, OneDrive, and Google Drive. It has been designed with enterprise-grade security and backup functionality. The editor, which I briefly showed you before, and which is the tool to create protocols, has detailed components, has a granular editing history, and allows all changes to be reverted. It also allows concurrent editing by two or more collaborators, and different sections of the protocol, as I showed you before, can be coded in different colors, and the protocol itself has a step-by-step format. As I showed you before as well, you can upload and embed figures and videos into your protocol, as I am showing to you in this slide. I am sure that many of you have a long list of existing protocols in PDF or Word format. This is not a barrier to adopting the use of protocols.io. We offer our users a protocol import service by which you can send us your existing protocol in any format, and we will upload them in the step-by-step format of protocols.io. We will double check it to make sure there are no errors or typos relative to the document that you provided. We will send you the protocol for review, and if all looks good, the protocol will be reassigned to you privately, and you will be able to publish it whenever you're ready. This service is free of charge for all users with an institutional premium account, but has a cost for everyone else. Now going back to the workspace. This is the space for collaborations. You can invite to join your workspace anyone, be it a student or postdoc, another faculty member within the same institution, or an external collaborator. To invite collaborators, you go to the administration menu of the workspace and select Manage Members. Then you can invite a new collaborator to join your workspace. You can also manage the privileges that members will have and limit what they can do, such as inviting other members or sharing or deleting files from your workspace folder. Workspace members can comment on the protocols you have created and shared with them, or ask questions. And this slide shows you how the functionality works. When a comment is posted, the author will receive an email notification, and then they can respond to that comment in the system. And all this back and forth between authors and readers will remain registered in the platform. The members of the workspace can also make changes to the protocols. And as I mentioned previously, there is a detailed log of all implemented changes, which can be reverted if needed. The members of a workspace can also create their own protocols or make a copy of an existing protocol and modify it according to their needs. For example, an original protocol could have been created to work with mice and a new version optimized to work with rats. The platform also allows you to dynamically compare an old version of a protocol to a new one. In this example, the new version is to the left and the changes are marked in red. And even if a member of your workspace leaves, because, for example, a graduate student graduates, the protocols remain organized, up to date, and available in the file manager. As mentioned before, the file manager supports many types of documents, not only protocols. You can upload PDFs, Word documents, and Excel spreadsheets. And all files can be further organized into subfolders. You can also select to export your protocols to Google Drive or Dropbox, or transfer them into a PDF and print them. So you can have a hard copy next to you at your bench while running your experiment. And I show you right now on the slide how the PDF would look like. However, as also mentioned before, you can opt to run your protocol directly from your computer or cell phone. The run function in protocols.io allows you to track the step-by-step progress and record every run of your experiment in a different file. You can also collaborate beyond your workspace by sharing your protocol with specific people via email or with the world by publishing them. Publishing a protocol will assign to it a DOI and will allow anyone with an internet connection to share for it and to access it. It will also create a log that will not allow further changes to the protocol. A published protocol with an assigned DOI is a citable object that can be referenced to in a paper, giving credit to the author's methodological development or improvements. The reference will also be linked to the dynamic and interactive protocol in protocol.io, so the reader will have access to all the features of this dynamic protocol. And the platform keeps record of all traffic and use of the protocols, including number of views, bookmarks, exports, copies, comments, and citations. Any reader can comment or ask questions, as I showed you earlier, and the author will be notified. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, as I was saying, any reader can comment or ask questions, as I showed you earlier, and the authors will be notified. And this will expand your network of collaborators and strengthen your impact and reproducibility. Once a protocol is published, any reader can copy it and modify it according to their needs, but the platform has a memory that will link any copied protocol to the original one. In this way, the author will maintain and earn credit. For example, what I show you on the screen right now is a protocol that is a modified version of an original protocol created by somebody else. This protocol has been published and has received a DOI. The platform indicates, however, that it was forked from another protocol, which the reader can access by following the link. Thus, all authors, the original author, and the authors who improve the protocol will get credit for the protocol creation and for the optimization. And the reader will have access to the history of changes and to the evolution of the protocol. With an assigned DOI, you can also use the link to protocols.io as part of your materials and methods section, simplifying your work. For example, this paper that I showed you right now, for this paper, the authors uploaded their collection of protocols into protocols.io, and they provided the link in the materials and methods section. We believe that if you adopt the use of protocols.io early on, this will simplify your work down the road when the time comes to prepare your paper and submit it for publication. Another neat feature of protocols.io is because the protocols are versionable, the reader will have access to the originally published version as well as to the newer versions that the authors have optimized since publication. Protocols.io recently established a partnership with PLOS ONE, whereby you can submit directly from our platform a novel protocol for peer review and eventual publication. The published protocol as a lab protocol in +1 will be bidirectionally linked to the interactive and dynamic protocol in protocols.io. And as mentioned before, once a protocol is published and receives a DOI, it can no longer be modified. However, it can be copied and modified as needed, creating newer versions. Now, going back to the workspace. You can create multiple workspaces in your account, depending on your research and teaching needs. You can create workspaces for different research projects or to teach different courses. Each workspace can have different members and contain different protocols and documents, giving you great flexibility for organization. In sum, protocols.io helps you stay organized, collaborate efficiently, save time, increase your impact, get credit, and teach efficiently. And this is my last slide, so I will be happy to answer any questions. You can also see here my email address, so feel free to email me if you have questions in the future. And as a reminder, I'm going to share with all participants both the recording as well as the slides. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or in the Q&A. So there is a question that says whether there is a space limit for the free account. And the answer is no. We don't have a limit of the storage space. The only limitation of the free accounts is that the free user can only have 5 private documents at a time. If they wish to create another private document, they would either have to delete one of the existing private documents or publish it. Once they publish a protocol and it becomes public, that frees a space for more private documents, up to 5 at a time. Are there any other questions? Okay, if not, then I will stop sharing my slide, and I will also stop the recording. No more questions? Okay, so thank you very much for coming to the presentation. I hope that it was useful. And again, as a reminder, feel free to email me or to request a one-to-one demo. Have a good rest of your day.